is Shenandoah once more on page 267, but today we're going to talk about transposing it. So for your final exam, not only will you have to play in the original key, you will also have to transpose it. And I've been thinking about what key I'd like to record us transposing it, and you can certainly pick another key, but I think one of the easiest keys to transpose to is to move from D to F. Now the reasoning is you'll notice it moves up a minor third, or you can think of it as moving down a major sixth. And what happens is the very first note, the written note in the original key is D. How can you rethink this note so that it reads as an F? Well, if you came up with the answer of just think of that note as being in bass clef, then that answers why I picked this key. It makes it very easy to think about what to play in the melody if you can just read it in bass clef. The only thing you have to keep track of is the key signature for F, which is really not a bad key signature at all. It's got one flat. So your very first note, you can certainly play it very low where it would be in the bass clef, or you can just move it up high if it doesn't bother you. Your very first note is going to be C, goes to F. Okay, so let's give this a try. Just the right hand will go nice and slow. Think about your key signature. Think about reading in bass clef. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2. Did that work out, students? I hope so. So let's try it one more time, but now I want you to try to count out loud. So I'll count us off. I'll give 1, 2 will come in, and then let's see if you can continue the counting so that you practice counting and thinking in bass clef at the same time. Okay, a brain challenge. Here it is. 1, 2. Keep counting. All right, students. Now what I want you to do before our next lesson or video lesson together is to write in your chords into your music. I've had to do that. I will show you. Hopefully it shows up in the camera. Just write it very lightly above the notes that are already written. You just have to think everything moves up. How far? Hopefully you said a minor third, so the D becomes, hopefully you said F, the E minor becomes, hopefully you said G minor, so on and so forth. And do write things like what's going to be in the bass, like in measure 2, when you have a B minor over D, well, what's a third up from that D? Because you're going to want to know that when you tackle the left hand. If you don't write it in, it's going to be overload for your brain, and your brain will not like it. Even I had to write it in because I honestly really don't transpose that much except to teach you guys. It's not like I sit down and I play a Schumann sonata and I ask myself, well, can I transpose it by a minor third? It's really not a skill that I use day in and day out, so I've had to write in the chords. So there is no shame in that. Go ahead and do that.